If you haven't filed your taxes yet, well, of course you have. Nobody within the sound of my voice right now would be a procrastinator and wait till today, would you? Well, the Biden administration says this tax season is really the most challenging tax season in history as the IRS struggles to wade through a backlog of millions of claims and refunds. I'm going to bring in now the Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Treasury, Wally Adeyemo. Sir, I know it's a busy day, so I want to thank you for your time. And I'm going to take this in pieces. I'm going to start with the what and then the why. So the what. What is the backlog right now that the IRS is experiencing? We've seen several numbers out there about a number of millions when it comes to backlog. So you give me the updated number.
Well, TJ, thank you so much for having me today. And thank you to you and all the other Americans who are filing their taxes today. And you're right, the IRS has a backlog that started when the pandemic started. The IRS, like so many of us, faced challenges then because they had to shut down their operations. But unlike a lot of businesses in America, they didn't have the technology to catch up, because today the IRS has as many employees as they had in 1970. So they're still working through a number of the documents that they've received over time. And when you think about the number of employees, the other thing that people usually use to catch up is technology. The IRS's master file, the information system that they use to process things, was built in 1962, which was before a man went to space. So they face challenges because of chronic underfunding by Congress that has made it harder for you and other taxpayers to get answers from the IRS. But the president's calling for increase in budget for the IRS over time.
Okay, you kind of gave me the what and the why there, but how does this work for you all? Do you try to clear the backlog before you get to the current stuff? Well, I guess, how do you handle that workload?
TJ, we're doing both at the same time. So if you filed your taxes online, which is what we recommend that you do, and you have a refund due and everything goes through, you should get your refund within 21 days. And at the same time, we're working to clear the backlog.
Okay, I think you kind of answered it there if you file electronically, but what can you tell Americans right now about the possibility of any delays with their refunds?
So the key is making sure that you file your taxes online. Filing your taxes online is usually the easiest way to do it, and it's the way that you will get your refunds the soonest. The thing that causes a delay is if you file your taxes using paper or you make an error in filing your taxes. That's why we recommend you find information on IRS.gov to make sure that you're entering the right information on your tax forms.
And sir, how many people are still using paper these days to file their taxes?
Millions of Americans still use paper because for some of them, they don't have access to the internet. So in addition to being able to use the internet, we've set up centers throughout the country where you can go to get help with filing your taxes by volunteers who are working with the IRS to help you file your taxes online. So if you don't have access to a computer or the ability to file online yourself, you can find one of these centers by going to IRS.gov, which will help you file your taxes and ensure that you get your refund in a timely manner.
And how behind are you? You talked about the numbers of employees at the IRS. You said it's equivalent to what you had maybe back in the 1960s, I think you might have said. But how many staffers are you short right now at the IRS?
The IRS is short thousands of employees. We have the same number of employees at the IRS as we had in 1970, and the U.S. population is 60% greater than it was at that point. So there are thousands of people we need at the IRS to help make sure that when you call, the phone calls can be answered. I'll just give you one statistic. Last year, the IRS received over 200 million calls and only had 15,000 people to answer those calls. Ooh. That's about 16,000 calls per person.
Okay, Mr. Adeyemo, what do you say, or how are Americans supposed to look at this when we talk about Congress and getting things done that directly impact the American people? This seems like a kind of a critical one that impacts every single one of us. But you say that Congress continues to underfund and not fund the IRS. Why, in your estimation, is there not the will to get you all, who are sound like decades and decades behind, up to speed?
What I can say, TJ, is that this could be so much easier for American taxpayers. It's easier in other countries. And the president has called for Congress to increase funding for the IRS to make sure that services are provided in a better way. But not only to make sure that services are provided, but one of the things that Congress has cut is the IRS's ability to go after the people who are least likely to pay their taxes. And what we know from the data is that that is the most wealthy Americans, who have dozens of lawyers who can help them avoid taxes while the IRS has too few employees. So the president's calling on Congress to increase the budget of the IRS to do two things: to make sure that it's easier for you to file your taxes, the people who want to do it on a regular basis, and to make sure that those people who are trying to avoid paying their taxes, especially the wealthiest Americans, are forced to do so in order to make sure we have the money to pay for things like our military, our infrastructure, and our schools.
All right. And last thing here, when did you get your taxes done?
I got my taxes done a few weeks ago, and I hope the rest of you are getting yours done today.
Okay. Well, we can only hope, and it's always worth saying, people can file an extension, but that doesn't mean that if you owe money, that money is due today, but you can file for an extension. I have that right?
You do, TJ.
Okay. Well, not for me. I'm asking for a friend. I'm good to go. Wally Adeyemo, Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Treasury. You know it's a very, very busy day. I hope folks in Congress were listening to your plea. You've been sounding that bell for a little while to get the IRS up to date. So thanks so much and good luck today, all right?
Thank you very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.